Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with here today with an article from Breitbart dated, what's the date on here? March 21st. So I'm recording this a couple days after this happened, but you should definitely check it out. It says University of Memphis tried to sabotage Turning Point USA event featuring Kyle Rittenhouse, organization says. And I'm bringing up this article not necessarily because of what happened, though of course we're going to go over this. I mean, in terms of them trying to sabotage the event, but what the BLM folks that were chasing after spectators of the event think still happened, even though, you know, the evidence that what they think happened or didn't happen has been publicly available for years at this point. And that's what pissed me off and made me go, I need to talk about this. So let's just go right into the article. It says University of Memphis administrators tried to sabotage a Turning Point USA or TPUSA event featuring Kyle Rittenhouse by issuing last-minute demands in order for the event to proceed, and then leaked private information to protesters, the organization said. An audio recording also revealed a purported school administrator laughing after a TPUSA chapter leader told her that he had been doxxed by protesters. So these aren't good people. Not the TPUSA folks, the folks on the other side. They just don't care. If people that aren't ideologically aligned with them get hurt or worse, they do not care. And don't think you can, play to their empathy. You're not going to be able to do that, because basically they don't have any. So the administrators told the school's TPUSA student leaders that they would need to make changes to their previously approved ticketing process, or else their event, scheduled for the following day, would not be able to proceed, the organization said. And this seems to be like a kind of go-to thing for campuses like this to do, which is like at the last minute, they're like, oh, wait, we need to completely change things around for you, whether it's changing something like the ticketing process or a venue change or something like that. And you're going to see kind of like what they do as we go through this. So the last minute change involved pre-ticketing or re-ticketing attendees through the university's ticketing system on short notice, Turning Point USA spokesperson Andrew Colvett told Breitbart News. Says Colvett explained that TPUSA uses its own ticketing system to prevent an event sabotaging stunt commonly attempted by protesters, which involves reserving all the seats, robbing would-be attendees of the opportunity to obtain tickets, and then staging a walkout, leaving the venue empty during the event. And there's actually video that you can go find out of them all getting up and walking out. So I'd say they were successful in doing that. And you're also going to hear in the video that I saw, the BLM guy that was questioning Kyle Rittenhouse had basically no idea of what the actual facts were of what happened with him, but let's just keep going. It says, on the night before the event was set to take place, Melanie Murray, the school's legal counsel, and Melinda Carson, the university's vice president for student affairs, informed TPUSA staff and student leaders in a private meeting that the school would send an email at 9 a.m. informing registrants that their tickets were invalid and redirect them to a new link for reticketing. But 30 minutes before that link was set to go live, this private information was somehow leaked to protesters, TPUSA said. And here's the problem, is that unless you wanted people to get hurt, why did you do that? Okay? And I think if Charlie Kirk isn't, and he's a smart dude, so he probably is looking into this already, if those folks gave away information like this that led to the stuff that happened, especially if people got hurt, the university should be sued, and I'd say sue those people directly as well if they're standing there. I'm not a lawyer, I don't know, but that's where my brain goes. There's a few students affiliated with TPUSA had infiltrated a group chat in which protesters were communicating their plans with one another. Well, it's nice to see that going the other way instead of the leftists infiltrating conservative areas, went the other way around this time. It says, while monitoring this group chat, the conservative students saw that protesters had been tipped off to the reticketing plan. So the purported message sent to the protesters group chat read as follows, quote, just as an update, I know many of us had tickets that are now not working. I was told that they will be reticketing the event tomorrow morning between 8 a.m. and 8:30 a.m. Please make sure to get a new ticket so more of us can participate in the walkout aspect of the protest. And I mean, yeah, I think, do they think that takes balls to do that? I mean, I know they're doing it to make it embarrassing for Kyle, but, or whoever the speaker is, but he's still getting paid. Whoever the speaker is still getting paid. Your thing does literally nothing to them. It just makes you guys actually look like complete assholes. And by the way, you're the bad guys in this situation, okay? We think about the tactics that you guys use. There is no group in the history of humanity that's ever done the things you guys have done and have been looked back on as the good guys. It's just not a thing, okay? So, I mean, you do the same thing as a certain group called the Brown Shirts in World War II, or I shouldn't say in World War II, but during and prior to that. If you don't know who they are, go look them up, and you'll realize, oh, wait, that's us. Oh, we do that. Wow, there's so many similarities here. It's practically like we are just that. Anyway, it says the protesters knew exactly what was going to happen before it was public knowledge, Colvett told Breitbart News. There is no way these groups could have known the new ticketing, timing, and protocol without school administrators leaking that information. And if that's true again, I think they should be sued for that. It says this is unprecedented, the TPUSA spokesperson continued. We've never had to deal with a day of ticketing change, or nor have we had to deal with an administration leaking our ticket information. Because these are remarkable steps that the university seems to be taking to impede and potentially sabotage our event with Kyle Rittenhouse, Colvett added. We are certainly used to hostile administrations, but never to this extent. And here's his full statement, and I'm not going to read the whole thing. The article is linked below in the description. If you want to go ahead and check it out yourself, you certainly can, but I am going to scoot on here. It says university administrators also reduced the number of seats that TPUSA was allowed to reserve from more than 50 to just 8, the organization said. And that's another tactic they do too, is like they'll have the venue and they'll go, oh wait, no, but you can't have as many people as you want there anymore. And like I said, they also switch venues. I think there was a Ben Shapiro event from years ago. I think he was supposed to go to like University of Minnesota or something, and they moved him from like their largest auditorium to like a smaller auditorium, and then it was like, a bar down the street. I'm being facetious, but you get my point. This university, we did that. It says, to make matters worse, the TPUSA chapter president at the University of Memphis was doxxed by protesters, the organization added. And Breitbart News reviewed a purported social media post that published the TPUSA chapter president's name, phone number, and address alongside a message that read, let him know how you feel about his decision to provoke black students by inviting a racist murder on campus. This is where, when I read the original article, I just went, okay, whoever said that this is a stupid person. Like, this is someone who has a low IQ because, as I said at the very beginning, the information about what happened with Kyle Rittenhouse, the video about it, has been out there for years. I'm guessing that the person who said that thinks that Kyle Rittenhouse killed black people because that was the narrative for years, that he killed black people. That never happened. Again, this footage has been out there in public view since the morning after the event actually happened. Okay? So it's not like you can't go see it for yourself. What you're doing when you say stuff like that is you're basically just parroting somebody else's talking points. These are not your own thoughts that you're having. You heard that, you just went, oh, that's what happened, and you just assumed it was true. It is not. And if you're someone listening to this now and you happen to be like, well, he killed black people, all I'll say to you is, go find the footage and watch it. It is obvious that those people, unless they are the whitest black people you've ever seen in your life, then that didn't happen. And by the way, the people that he killed, which is what happened, I mean, calling it a killing isn't, I don't think, out of bounds, but the people that were killed, I will say, they weren't good people either, okay? Not that means they necessarily deserved it, though you could argue for at least one of them, he certainly did, but my God, like, go find out the facts of what you're talking about before you actually talk about them. And also, if we find out who the person is that said this, isn't this defamatory? Because he's not a murderer. He was cleared by a jury of his peers. He didn't do anything wrong. They said he was acting in self-defense. We're done. There's no murder. Or at least it wasn't, considered a murder by the state. So this is, to me, this is just completely defamatory. But that's what got me going and make me think, I got to talk about this. But anyway, it says, the shocking revelations didn't end there. It says, a recorded conversation by TPUSA to Breitbart News revealed an apparent administrator who was said to be the university's director of conferences and event services, laughing and saying, you probably shouldn't stay there tonight, after the TPUSA chapter president asked what he should do about being doxxed. Meanwhile, a man in the recording who was said to be a campus officer appeared to brush off the doxing by repeatedly telling the student that his phone number and address is technically public information, seemingly failing to consider that doxing means purposely promulgating personal information, that's a tongue twister, public or private, with malicious intent. Purposely promulgating personal information, public or private. There we go, 5 P's and 7 words, how about that? It says, the event featuring Rittenhouse proceeded on Wednesday night with chaos ensuing on campus as a result. Says Julio Rosas, a TPUSA affiliated Frontlines, or he's with, did I say a TPUSA? Let's say, but he's with TPUSA affiliated Frontlines, posted video footage of protesters screaming and appearing to chase people who are trying to leave after the event. Yeah, and I'm not going to play that. You can go watch it yourself. This kind of shit pisses me off because people who don't know what they're talking about just deciding we're going to join a mob and go after people. Okay, none of these people know what actually happened, but they've heard something. Again, like what I said before, they've heard people say something and they go, oh, that must just be true, and I'm going to believe it without any sort of discernment towards whether that's true or not on my own. Okay? It says additional footage showed protesters screaming at event attendees in a parking garage, and that's actually below. It says urging them to hit us with their vehicles while police tried to quell the mob. They're not going to hit you, assholes, okay? Unless you purposely do something to make them do that. They're not going to do that because those are actual decent people. You are not. And here's the parking garage footage, which again I'm going to skip over into. Some protesters spat out of the vehicles. Again, you're not the good guys, and that's actually the end of the article. So to all these folks out here, just by the way, you work for an organization that is a grifting organization that does not actually care about the lives of black people. It's called that, but doesn't actually think that. Okay? It's just used to enrich the people at the top. That's it. And so again, I'm like at a loss for words here because I see stuff like this and I just think, man, you are stupid people. You are stupid people supporting a stupid organization. I urge you to go watch the footage from what happened. It's been out there for a few years, and at this point, if you're not doing that, you're just choosing to remain ignorant. That's all I have to say. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.